My child, there is a reason this message found you right now, and you need to hear me before you scroll past what your soul has been avoiding. You have been carrying words you were supposed to say, prayers you were supposed to pray, and pain you were never meant to bury in silence. And I am telling you, do not skip this. Stay with me all the way through, because what begins here is not just another message. It is an interruption, a confrontation, and an invitation with your name on it. Listen closely, because I am going to touch the places you have kept hidden, expose what you have been calling fine, and call you back into the conversation you have delayed for too long. Do not leave early. Do not turn away when it gets personal. If you stay, you will know exactly why I brought you here. My child, you may think you are simply reading words on a screen, but I want you to understand something very deeply before you move any further. You did not arrive here by accident, and you are not hearing this because of timing alone. I am the one who slowed your hands. I am the one who let something inside you pause, even if only for a moment, because I have watched you long enough to know what has been happening beneath the surface. You have learned how to move through your day with a face that tells one story while your heart carries another. You know how to answer people with "I'm okay" when you are not okay. You know how to keep functioning when your spirit is tired. You know how to smile at the right time, say the right thing, complete what needs to be completed, and then go quiet when nobody is looking. And because you have done this for so long, even you have started to believe that if you can keep moving, then maybe you are not as burdened as you really are. But I know the truth of you, and I have never once been fooled by the strength you perform when you are trying not to fall apart. I know what your chest feels like when the day gets quiet. I know the heaviness that settles on you when there is no one around to distract you. I know how quickly your mind goes back to the things you do not want to think about. I know the conversations you replay, the disappointments you never processed, the fears you keep trying to outrun, and the strange exhaustion that has followed you even on days when nothing dramatic happened. You have been carrying more than one person should carry, and what has made it even heavier is that you have been carrying it in silence. That silence has become a place where pain keeps growing roots. That silence has made things feel normal that were never meant to become normal. I have watched you become familiar with pressure, familiar with emotional numbness, familiar with inner tension, familiar with surviving. But my child, I did not create you only to survive your own life. I did not form your heart so that it would become a storage room for unspoken grief. I did not make you for endless internal strain while everyone around you assumes you are strong. I am interrupting you now because I love you too much to let you keep calling this just how things are. What you have been feeling matters to me. What you have buried matters to me. What you have dismissed because you thought it was not spiritual enough or important enough matters to me. I am not asking you to impress me with how well you have handled it. I am not asking you to explain it perfectly. I am not asking you to organize your pain into something clean and easy. I am asking you to stop pretending that what hurts does not hurt. I am asking you to stop acting like the weight is manageable when it is quietly crushing your peace. I am asking you to let me tell you the truth. You are not weak because you feel overwhelmed, and you are not failing because your soul is tired. You are human. You are deeply loved, and you have reached a place where honesty is no longer optional if you want healing to begin. That is why I am speaking to you now, not to shame you, not to pressure you, but to bring you into a moment you have been postponing. I am calling you out of the habit of emotional hiding. I am calling you out of the pattern of carrying what should have been brought to me sooner. I am calling you into a conversation you have avoided because part of you was afraid of what would come out if you finally let yourself feel what had been there all along. And I want you to hear me carefully, because this is where so much begins to change for you if you let it. You have been waiting for relief, waiting for clarity, waiting for a shift, And in many ways you have been asking me for peace while still holding your pain in a locked room inside your heart. You have wanted me to calm what you would not fully uncover. You have hoped time would soften what you would not name. You have hoped endurance would heal what only surrender could heal. But I am not speaking to condemn you for that. I understand why you did it. I know why you went quiet. I know why you kept moving. I know there were moments when you truly believed that if you slowed down, everything you had been holding back would spill out all at once. I know you were afraid that if you touched the real wound, it would hurt more than you could handle. I know there were times you did not even have language for what was happening inside you. Sometimes it was not one event. Sometimes it was the buildup of many small wounds, many disappointments, many delayed prayers, many private battles, many days of being needed by everyone while you quietly went without what your own heart needed. And because it did not always look dramatic from the outside, you convinced yourself you should be able to handle it. You told yourself other people have it worse. You told yourself it will pass. You told yourself to be grateful and keep going. But I want you to know that gratitude and honesty can live in the same heart. Faith and vulnerability can live in the same prayer. You do not honor me by minimizing what is breaking you. You honor me when you trust me enough to let me into it. You honor me when you stop editing your pain before you bring it to me. You honor me when you say, "This is what I am really carrying, and I do not know how much longer I can carry it alone." That is not weakness. That is trust. That is the beginning of real communion. And that is why I am asking you, right now, not later, not when you feel more composed, not when the timing is better, but now, to stop for a moment and admit what your heart has been trying to say. What is hurting you? What are you tired of pretending does not affect you? What disappointment are you still living under? What fear has been quietly shaping your thoughts? What memory still tightens something inside you? What pressure have you normalized so completely that you forgot it was draining the life out of your joy? I already know the answers, but you need to hear yourself tell me the truth. You need to step out of that inner hiding place and let your soul breathe in my presence. I am not standing over you with disappointment. I am sitting with you in this moment with the patience of a father who has seen every silent battle and never once looked away. I am not frustrated that you took time to get here. I am grateful that you are here now. If your heart feels fragile, bring it. If your thoughts feel tangled, bring them. If all you have is confusion, tears, frustration, numbness, or even silence that does not yet know how to turn into prayer, bring that too. You do not need a polished beginning. You only need a real one. And this, my child, is that beginning. I am here because I see where it hurts. I am here because I know you have been carrying too much in silence. I am here because I refuse to let you keep calling hidden pain strength. So stay with me. Let this be the moment where you stop pretending. Let this be the moment where your heart finally tells the truth. Let this be the first time in a long time that you allow yourself to be fully seen by the one who has never stopped seeing you. My child, I know one of the deepest reasons you keep holding back. I know that part of you is not silent because you have nothing to say. You are silent because you are afraid of what might happen if you finally say it. You are afraid that if you touch the real thing, it will open too wide. You are afraid that if you let the words come, the emotions behind them will rise stronger than you can manage. You are afraid that if you stop controlling your expression, you may not know how to stop the tears, the grief, the anger, the questions, the ache that has been waiting behind your restraint for so long. So you keep it contained. You keep it measured. You keep it edited. You keep it spiritual enough, calm enough, vague enough, because somewhere inside you, you believe that if you become fully honest, you might unravel. And I want you to hear me with the gentleness of a father who knows exactly how fragile that fear feels. I understand why you are afraid. I know what it is like for a heart to feel one honest sentence away from breaking open. I know how long you have spent trying to stay composed. I know how much effort it has taken to remain fine on the outside while something in you has been trembling beneath the surface. But my child, the breaking you fear is not always destruction. Sometimes it is release. Sometimes the moment you think you are falling apart is actually the moment the pressure finally starts leaving your soul. Sometimes the tears you are afraid of are not evidence that you are losing control. They are evidence that your heart is finally exhaling after holding too much for too long. Sometimes what you call unraveling is simply the beginning of truth. I am not asking you to become chaotic. I am not asking you to drown in your emotions. I am not asking you to make pain your identity. I am asking you to stop worshiping composure. I am asking you to stop treating emotional control like it is the highest form of spiritual maturity. It is not. There are moments when restraint is wise. Yes. There are moments when timing matters. Yes. But when you are here with me, in my presence, in this deeply personal space where I already know everything, why are you still trying to sound okay? Why are you still trying to protect me from the truth? Why are you still offering me the cleaned up version of your heart, when I am the one who can actually hold the real one? I do not need polite prayers. I do not need your pain arranged in neat sentences. I do not need you to translate your grief into something pretty. I want the real thing. I want the sentence that catches in your throat. I want the confession that embarrasses you. I want the frustration you have been ashamed to admit. I want the anger you thought was too ugly. I want the fear you keep disguising as tiredness. I want the disappointment you keep calling acceptance. Bring me that. Bring me the unfiltered version. Bring me the words that tremble. Bring me the truth that makes your chest tighten. Because honesty is where I can begin to work in a way you have not yet allowed. When you stay polished, you stay protected. When you stay real, you become reachable. And I want you reachable, not because I want to expose you, but because I want to heal you in places your polished prayers cannot reach. And let me tell you something that may set you free if you really receive it. I can do far more with your honesty than you can do with your control. Your control has helped you manage appearances. Your control has helped you avoid vulnerable moments. Your control has helped you stay functional. But it has not healed the wound. It has not lifted the pressure. It has not brought deep rest. It has not removed the ache. Your control has kept the room tidy while the foundation underneath still trembles. But honesty, even trembling honesty, opens the door to something holy. Honesty gives me access. Honesty tells the truth about where you are instead of where you wish you were. Honesty allows grace to land in the exact place it is needed. You may think, if I say it out loud, it becomes too real. But my child, it is already real. It has been real every night you lay down with it. It has been real every time your chest tightened and you called it stress. It has been real every time your thoughts circled back to the same hurt. Naming it does not create the pain. Naming it simply stops you from pretending it is not there. And that is why I am asking you now, stop editing. Stop filtering. Stop trying to sound like someone who is handling it well. Sit down with me and say what is true. If you are hurt, say it. If you are angry, say it. If you are confused, say it. If you feel betrayed, say it. If you feel abandoned, say it. If you are afraid that you have been carrying too much and do not know how to release it, say that too. Do not wait for the perfect language. Do not wait for your emotions to become more organized. Do not wait until you can tell the story without feeling it. Come now. Speak now. Let the words come as they are. I am not startled by your honesty. I am not offended by your struggle. I am not withdrawing because you finally tell the truth. I am drawing nearer. I am leaning in. I am ready to meet the real you, not the composed version you have been trying to maintain. This is where I want more than your admiration. I want your trust. Trust me enough to say the hard thing. Trust me enough to stop performing. Trust me enough to believe that if tears come, I will not step back. Trust me enough to believe that if your voice shakes, I will still hold you steady. Trust me enough to believe that your most honest prayer may be the most powerful one you have prayed in a long time. So open your mouth. Let your heart speak. Do not be afraid of the flood. I am stronger than what comes out of you. I am not intimidated by the depth of your pain. I am not overwhelmed by the complexity of your emotions. I can carry what you have been afraid to feel. I can hold what you have been afraid to say. But you must let me in through the doorway of honesty. My child, I also want to address the deeper fear beneath this, because sometimes it is not only that you are afraid of falling apart. Sometimes you are afraid of what your own heart might reveal if you stop controlling it. You are afraid you might discover how angry you really are. You are afraid you might uncover how disappointed you still feel. You are afraid you might realize how much something from the past still affects you. You are afraid that the version of yourself you have been presenting is not as stable as you hoped. And I understand that. It can feel terrifying to realize that what you have called being okay was actually a carefully maintained balance built on avoidance. But hear me clearly. Discovering the truth is not the same as being defeated by it. Awareness is not collapse. Exposure is not destruction. Sometimes the first moment of real healing feels unsettling because it disrupts the illusion that you are fine. But that disruption is mercy. It is not cruelty. It is me refusing to let you keep building on a foundation of denial. If something in you shakes when you become honest, let it shake. If something in you softens and tears rise, let them rise. If words come out messier than you expected, let them come. This is not the place to manage impressions. This is the place to be known. This is the place to let what has been sealed finally breathe. There is something deeply sacred about an unpolished prayer. Heaven does not measure your honesty by elegance. I am not waiting for the perfect phrase. I am listening for the true one. And often the truest prayer sounds less like a sermon and more like a sigh, less like a polished declaration and more like, Lord, I don't know what to do with this anymore. That is enough. That is more than enough. That kind of honesty breaks chains that performance keeps in place. That kind of honesty opens rooms inside you that have been locked for years. That kind of honesty tells fear that it no longer gets to govern the atmosphere of your heart. So be brave now. Do not stay at the edge of this moment. Step in. Speak plainly. If you need to whisper, whisper. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to sit in silence for a moment and then force out one real sentence, do that. But do not retreat. Do not go back into the familiar shelter of pretending. I am here. I am with you. I am not asking you to carry the aftermath alone. I am asking you to trust that I can meet you in it. Invite me into the trembling. Invite me into the tears. Invite me into the truth you have been postponing. Let me show you that the place you feared would undo you can become the place where my peace meets you most deeply. And as we keep walking, hold this close. Honesty is not a threat to your peace. It is the path toward it. You have tried to protect yourself by staying polished, But the peace you want does not grow in performance. It grows in truth. It grows when you stop trying to look strong and start becoming real. It grows when your heart finally says what it has been carrying. It grows when you trust me with what you have been afraid to face. So answer my invitation. Be real with me. Be immediate with me. Be specific with me. Tell me what you have been afraid to say. Let this become a new pattern in you. When your heart tightens, come to me. When your emotions rise, come to me. When you feel the urge to edit yourself, resist it. Choose honesty instead. Choose openness instead. Choose the kind of prayer that sounds like you, not the kind you think you should perform. Because what I can do with a truthful heart is deeper than anything your self-control has been able to accomplish. Stay here. Keep listening. Let your soul become real in my presence. That is where healing starts to feel personal, deep, and undeniable. You have just been invited to speak what is real, not polished, and now I ask you to act from that same place of honesty. If your heart is stirring, if something in you is opening, do not let this moment pass without response. What you release here is not only for you. It becomes seed that carries my voice to others who are still trapped in silence. As I have said, give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, and I am speaking that over you now as a living promise. When you sow into this work through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are pouring oil into lamps that will not go out. I will breathe on your generosity, and what leaves your hand will return as provision, peace, and unseen protection over your life. This is not a transaction. It is participation in my healing work across hearts you may never meet. Do not stay moving. Become part of the movement. Act now and give as I lead you. My child, I want you to pay close attention right here, because one of the reasons you have delayed so much is that part of you has been waiting for something dramatic. You have imagined that if this moment were truly from me, it would feel unmistakable in some grand way. You thought maybe the room would suddenly feel different. Maybe your emotions would surge. Maybe a powerful sign would come. Maybe a sentence would strike you so hard you could not ignore it. And because many of your moments with me have not looked like that, you have sometimes questioned whether I was really speaking. You have mistaken my gentleness for absence. You have confused my quietness with distance. You have assumed that because I did not arrive like thunder, maybe I was not moving at all. But my child, I need you to understand something that will change the way you listen. I do not always come with noise. I do not always announce myself with dramatic interruption. I often come like light entering a dim room. I often come like a hand resting on a tense shoulder. I often come like a slow exhale you did not realize you needed. I often come like one sentence that lingers after everything else has gone quiet. I often come like a whisper that does not force itself on you, but waits for your attention. And that is exactly why so many people miss me in the moments when I am closest. They are looking for spectacle while I am offering intimacy. They are waiting for thunder while I am sitting beside them in stillness. They are asking for overwhelming proof while I am already speaking in a way that requires trust, not performance. I want you to stop measuring my presence by intensity alone. I want you to stop assuming that what is quiet must be weak. Some of the deepest things I do in you will not feel loud at first. They will feel gentle, personal, almost easy to overlook if you are not careful. That subtle urge you feel to pause and be honest with me. That can be me. That soft inner nudge telling you not to scroll past your own pain this time. That can be me. That sentence that returns again and again. Talk to me now. That can be me. That warmth in your chest. That stillness in the middle of your anxious thoughts. That moment where your breathing deepens without explanation. that unexpected desire to cry after days of numbness, that sense that you should stop pretending and simply tell the truth. Do not dismiss these things. Do not call them small. Do not brush them aside because they are not dramatic enough for your expectations. Many times, the whisper is the doorway. Many times, the quiet invitation is the holiest moment of the day. And if you keep waiting for thunder, you may keep overlooking the whisper that is already trying to lead you into freedom. I am not playing games with you. I am not hiding from you. I am not making my voice impossible to hear. But I do want your attention. I do want your willingness. I do want you to become the kind of listener who can recognize me in the soft places, not only in the spectacular ones. So stop demanding a storm before you trust the rain. Stop insisting on lightning before you honor the light already entering the room. Stop telling yourself that if I were really speaking, it would feel bigger. I am speaking now. I am here now. And I want you to answer the whisper before you keep waiting for thunder that may never come in the form you expected. And I want you to see why this matters so deeply. Because your spiritual life can become stalled if you only respond to the dramatic. If you train yourself to wait for crisis before you come close, you will keep missing the everyday invitations where real intimacy is built. Think about how relationships deepen in the natural world. A child does not become close to a loving father only in emergencies. Closeness is built in ordinary moments, in the small conversations, the glances, the quiet reassurances, the repeated acts of trust, the simple presence that becomes familiar and safe. In the same way, I am not asking you to know me only in the fire. I want you to know me in the quiet room, in the heavy afternoon, in the pause between tasks, in the breath before sleep, in the stillness after the tears, in the small moment when your heart stirs and you could choose either distraction or connection. That is where so much of your healing will happen. Not only in the moments that feel dramatic enough to remember, but in the subtle moments that require you to lean in. And that leaning in is a choice. It is a holy discipline. It is an act of love. It is you telling me, I will not ignore you because you came softly. So practice that now. When you sense the whisper, stop. Do not rush past it. Do not explain it away. Do not call it overthinking. Do not label it as nothing just because it arrived gently. Pause. Breathe. Ask, Lord, is this you? Then stay still long enough to hear what your hurried habits would normally drown out. You do not need to create a dramatic atmosphere. You do not need special music, perfect conditions, or a perfect mood. You need availability. You need the humility to stop. You need the courage to listen. You need the willingness to respond before your distractions reclaim you. And if you do, you will begin to notice something that will change your life. My whisper is often more consistent than your emotions. Your emotions rise and fall. Your circumstances shift. Your mental clarity comes and goes. But my quiet invitations keep returning. They are steady. They are patient. They are often simple. Come closer. Tell me the truth. Do not hide this. Release it now. Rest here. Today. These whispers may not impress your senses, but they transform your soul when you obey them. That is why I want more than your admiration for big spiritual moments. I want your response to the subtle ones. When the gentle nudge comes, obey it. When the stillness arrives, enter it. When the whisper says, talk to me, do not ask for a louder sign. Open your mouth. When the inner tug says, stop running, stop. When you sense that your heart is being invited into honesty, do not keep waiting for more proof. Whisper itself is the proof. It is me drawing near in a way that respects your freedom while still calling you toward healing. And if you become faithful in these quiet moments, You will not need constant thunder to know I am with you. You will begin to recognize me in the small shift of the atmosphere, in the peace that does not match the room, in the sentence that settles deep, in the sudden clarity that cuts through mental fog, in the invitation that feels gentle but refuses to leave. That is how intimacy grows. That is how trust matures. That is how you become someone who can hear my voice without needing constant spectacle. My child, there is also a reason I often speak softly when you are already carrying so much, and I want you to receive this with tenderness. You have lived under enough pressure. You have carried enough noise. Your mind has already been crowded with too many thoughts, too many responsibilities, too many what-ifs, too many internal alarms. I do not need to compete with chaos by becoming louder chaos. I come differently. I come as peace. I come as clarity. I come as the quiet center in the middle of your storm. If I spoke to your wounds the way the world speaks, with urgency, force, and noise, you would feel pushed, not held. You would feel overwhelmed, not invited. But I know what your nervous system has endured. I know how easily you become overstretched. I know how your heart braces itself when life feels loud. So I often come in a way that does not bruise you further. I come in a whisper because I know you need safety, not shock. I come gently because I am not trying to impress you. I am trying to heal you. I come close enough to be felt, but not in a way that violates the tenderness of what is already happening inside you. That is why I need you to stop despising the gentle ways I meet you. Stop assuming that what is calm must be less powerful. Think of how water shapes stone, not always by force, but by persistence. Think of how dawn changes the sky, not with violence, but with steady light. Think of how a wound is tended, not by shouting at it, but by careful hands. This is how I often move in you. Quietly, faithfully, deeply. And if you keep demanding thunder, you may miss the hand already touching the wound. So I am inviting you now into a different posture. Become a listener of whispers. Become attentive to the small shifts. Train your heart to notice the gentle pull toward truth. When you feel the soft nudge to pray, obey it immediately. When you sense the invitation to stop hiding, respond. When the quiet moment comes and your instinct is to fill it with noise, resist that impulse. Guard the silence. Sit in it. Let it become sacred. Let it become the place where you and I meet more often. Because I am not absent in the quiet. I am often most present there. And I want you to discover that for yourself, not as an idea, but as a lived reality. So tonight, or this afternoon, or whenever the next small holy pause comes, do not treat it casually. Under it, enter it, saying, Lord, I am listening. Then let me speak. Let me soothe. Let me uncover. Let me lead. The whisper may not feel dramatic in the moment, but it can change the direction of your soul more than the loud moments you keep waiting for. And as we keep walking, hold this close. I am not less present because I am gentle. I am not less powerful because I am quiet. I am not less real because the moment feels simple. If anything, the whisper is often proof that I am near enough not to shout. So stop chasing only what startles you. Stop overlooking what steadies you. Open your heart in the small moment. Listen in the stillness. Answer the quiet invitation. And when the whisper comes again, and it will, do not hesitate. Respond. Speak. Say, let that be enough. Because in that gentle place, I can do more than you realize. You have been told not to overlook the whisper, and this is one of those whispers calling you into action. Do not wait for a louder sign to confirm what you already feel stirring within you. A gentle nudge to support this message is my voice inviting you to sow into something eternal. As it is written, whoever sows generously will also reap generously. And I am speaking that into your present moment. Your giving, through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, becomes like rain falling on dry ground, bringing life where there was none. I will use what you release to multiply light, to reach hidden hearts, to awaken those still waiting in silence. And I will meet you in return with quiet blessings that settle deep, favor, provision, and a peace that does not strive. Do not ignore the whisper. Under it, respond now and give. My child, I want to speak to the habit that has exhausted you more than you have admitted, and it is this quiet determination to manage your pain in private. You have treated your inner struggles like a private maintenance project. Something breaks inside, something aches, something weighs on you, something lingers in your thoughts or sits on your chest, and instead of bringing it to me quickly, you retreat inward and begin trying to manage it alone. You monitor it. You contain it. You minimize it. You reason with it. You distract from it. You tell yourself it is not that serious. You tell yourself you can carry it. You tell yourself you just need a little time. You tell yourself it will pass. You keep functioning, keep speaking normally, keep answering people, keep handling tasks, while privately trying to keep the emotional spill contained behind the walls of your own soul. And I need you to hear this clearly. It is not your responsibility to keep your pain contained as if containment were the same thing as healing. You have confused management with transformation. You have mistaken containment for maturity. You have treated the ability to keep it hidden as if that meant it was being handled. But my child, what you hide in isolation often grows heavier than what you surrender in trust. Pain kept private does not always stay small. Often it deepens. It spreads roots. It gathers stories around itself. It collects interpretations, fears, assumptions, and unspoken conclusions. What began as one wound can become a whole inner climate if it is left alone in the dark too long. That is why I'm interrupting this pattern now. Stop trying to be your own quiet emotional caretaker in ways that leave me outside the room. Stop acting as if your job is to keep everything neat enough that no one, not even me, sees the mess. I am not asking you to expose yourself carelessly to the world. I am asking you to stop locking your pain in a private room and calling that wisdom. There is a difference between privacy and isolation. Privacy can be healthy. Isolation can become a breeding ground. Privacy can be stewardship. Isolation can become secrecy. Privacy can protect what is tender until it is ready. Isolation can suffocate what needs air. And I want you to discern the difference now. There are places in you where the pain has not remained quiet because it was healed. It has remained quiet because you have been trying to keep it under control. But the strain of that control is wearing you down. You were not designed to carry sorrow like contraband hidden under your coat. You were not designed to transport grief from room to room and call it strength. You were not designed to keep emotional fires contained in sealed rooms and then wonder why the whole house feels hot. Bring it to me now. Do not wait until it becomes a crisis. Do not wait until you are unraveling. Do not wait until your body is exhausted, your patience is thin, your sleep is broken, and your spirit is numb. Bring it now, while it is still in your hands. Bring it now, before it grows roots in isolation. Bring it now, because I can do more with surrendered pain than you can do with hidden pain. I can touch what you can't reach. I can name what you cannot untangle. I can carry what you are trying to keep balanced. So stop trying to manage in private what was meant to be entrusted in relationship. Open the door. Invite me in. Let the room be seen. Let the burden be handed over. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. This is not failure. This is the beginning of relief. And I want you to understand why isolation changes the nature of pain, because this is where so many people become trapped without realizing it. Pain in the light and pain in isolation do not behave the same way. Pain brought into my presence becomes something that can be touched, named, softened, and held. Pain left alone in the dark becomes interpretive. It starts talking to you. It starts rewriting stories. It starts attaching itself to your identity. It starts saying things like, "This is just who you are now." It starts turning one disappointment into a belief about your future. It starts turning one rejection into a belief about your worth. It starts turning one delay into a belief that nothing will ever change. This is what happens when pain sits too long in isolation. It does not stay a wound. It starts becoming a narrator. And many times, you have been listening to that narrator more than you realize. The longer pain stays hidden, the more authority it begins to assume in your inner world. That is why I am asking you to bring it into my presence sooner, not later. Because in my presence, pain loses the microphone. In my presence, lies get interrupted. In my presence, perspective returns. In my presence, what felt enormous begins to be held in the context of my truth. That does not always mean the pain disappears instantly, but it does mean it stops reigning unchecked. It stops being the only voice in the room. And I want you to think of this like a wound under a bandage that has not been changed in too long. The bandage may have once been useful. It covered the wound and protected it. But if it stays untouched in secret too long, what was meant to protect can begin to trap what needs cleaning. The hidden wound can worsen beneath the covering, not because the wound is evil, but because it has not had air, cleansing, attention, or care. That is what I am saying to you. Some of what you call private strength has become an old bandage. It covered what was real. It helped you function. But now it may be interfering with healing. I am not ripping it off harshly. I am asking you to let me tend it. Let me change what has been wrapped too long. Let me clean what you have only covered. Let me touch what you have been protecting from everyone, including me. You can trust me with that. I do not expose to shame. I reveal to restore. I do not uncover to humiliate. I uncover to heal. So when the next ache rises, do not automatically retreat into silent management mode. Interrupt the reflex. Say to yourself, "This does not stay hidden," and turn toward me immediately, saying, "Lord, this is here." That's simple. A direct. At immediate. You do not need a speech. You need access. You need movement. You need to stop allowing the wound to live in a sealed room where it gets to become its own storyteller. Bring it into my voice. Bring it into my truth. Bring it into my atmosphere. Let the inner climate change. Let my presence become the place where your pain is handled, not merely hidden. That is how cycles break. That is how heaviness begins to lose its familiar shape. That is how isolation stops being the workshop where fear builds furniture inside your soul. My child, there is also something very personal I need you to hear. I do not want to be the last one you tell. Too often, you spend days, sometimes weeks, trying to internally manage something before you finally bring it to me. By then, the pain has already been sitting in your thoughts, affecting your body, coloring your mood, influencing your responses, and shaping your expectations. And when you finally come, you are not only carrying the original wound, you are carrying everything, the isolation built around it. You are carrying the assumptions, the rehearsed fears, the mental loops, the resentment, the fatigue, the numbness, the secondary heaviness that accumulated because the wound sat unattended in the wrong atmosphere. I do not say that to shame you. I say it because I want something better for you. I want to be your first movement, not your final option. I want your reflex to become, bring it to the Father now, not later, not after you have already exhausted yourself trying to control it, not after the pain has become an internal ecosystem. Now, the moment you feel it, the moment the sting lands, the moment the memory rises, the moment the pressure forms, the moment the old wound starts whispering, turn, speak, hand it over. This is not about becoming fragile. This is about becoming relational. This is about letting your first instinct become trust instead of containment. I know that may feel unfamiliar. I know the old reflex is strong. I know part of you still believes it is noble to carry the hidden thing until you can handle it better. But my child, if I am your refuge, then refuge is not something you enter only after self-management fails. Refuge is where you go first. If I am your healer, then healing is not something you seek only after private containment becomes unbearable. Healing begins when you let me touch it early. If I am your father, then I do not want to hear about your pain only after you have spent days alone with it. Come sooner. Come quickly. Come honestly. Build this rhythm with me. Practice it until it becomes natural. When hurt rises, turn to me. When disappointment lands, turn to me. When anger starts building, turn to me. When fear starts whispering, turn to me. Do not let the hidden room lock again. Do not let the old habit of private management become your automatic refuge. Choose a new refuge. Choose my presence. Choose the holy interruption. Choose immediate honesty. Put words on it quickly. Lord, this hurt. Lord, I feel the old fear rising. Lord, I want to withdraw. Lord, I am tempted to hide this, but I am bringing it now. Those prayers are powerful. They stop pain from settling too deeply into the wrong soil. They keep wounds from becoming private strongholds. They train your heart to trust me in real time. And that changes you. It changes your nervous system. It changes your prayer life. It changes your inner climate. It teaches your soul that pain does not have to be managed in private to be valid. It can be surrendered in relationship and still be handled with dignity, depth, and wisdom. And as we continue, keep this close to your heart. What you hide in isolation often grows heavier, but what you surrender in trust begins to lose the extra weight that secrecy adds. So stop trying to keep your pain contained like it is your responsibility to make it manageable before it reaches me. Bring it early. Bring it real. Bring it while it is still raw. Bring it before the hidden room fills with shadows and stories. Let me meet you there. Let me tend what you have only covered. Let me speak where pain has been narrating. Let me become the first place you go, not the place you finally collapse into after self-management has worn you thin. I am here. I am near. I am not intimidated by what you have been carrying. To open the door. Step out of isolation. Hand it over now. I can hold it better than you can hide it. You have been told to stop carrying your pain alone. Now I am inviting you to step out of isolation in a tangible way. What you release from your hand becomes a declaration that you no longer live close off, but connected to my purpose. When you give into this message through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. You are opening doors for others to bring their hidden pain into my presence. As I have spoken, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days, and I am breathing life into that promise for you now. Your seed will not disappear. It will return as strength where you felt weak, clarity where you felt overwhelmed, and rest where you felt burdened. I will take what you surrender and turn it into a river that flows beyond you, touching souls you cannot see. This is your moment to break the pattern of holding back. Step out. Trust me. Give now. My child, I am speaking past the practiced answer, past the familiar smile, past the steady tone, past the version of you that has learned how to stay functional when your inner world feels strained. I know that version of you very well. I have watched you use it to move through rooms, conversations, obligations, responsibilities, and expectations. I have watched you say, "I'm fine," with a voice that sounds calm enough to convince almost anyone. I have watched you keep things moving when your heart was heavy. I have watched you answer kindly while carrying things you never named. I have watched you keep the atmosphere comfortable for other people while something inside you was quietly asking to be seen. And I need you to hear me with tenderness and authority. The version of you that keeps saying, "I'm fine," is not the one I am speaking to right now. I am speaking to the hidden part. I am speaking to the tired part. I am speaking to the part of you that has become so used to self-containment that it almost feels wrong to tell the truth. I am speaking to the part of you that learned how to protect everyone else from the discomfort of your pain, as if your role was to make sure your struggle never spills into the room. I know why you learned this. I know the history behind it. I know the environments that taught you to be low maintenance, to be resilient, to be composed, to be helpful, to be the strong one, to be the one who does not complicate things, to be the one who absorbs more than they reveal. I know the subtle messages that trained you to believe your pain should be edited before it becomes visible. I know the moments where honesty did not feel safe. I know the places where vulnerability felt costly. I know the times when your truth seemed inconvenient to people who preferred your strength. And because of all that, you became skillful. You became impressive in ways the world often praises. You learned how to hold yourself together. You learned how to keep your face calm. You learned how to keep your words measured. You learned how to make pain look manageable. But my child, what the world may call strength, I need you to examine more honestly. Because some of what you have called strength has really been concealment. Some of what you have called composure has been compression. Some of what you have called being fine has been a quiet act of emotional disappearance. You did not vanish completely, but you withdrew the truest parts. You let the acceptable version of you show up while the hurting version stayed behind a locked door. And I am speaking to that locked room now. I am not asking you to become reckless. I am not asking you to pour yourself out carelessly before people who have not earned access. I am asking you to stop protecting everyone else from the truth of your own pain as if your pain is a disruption instead of something worthy of care. Stop editing yourself so thoroughly that even you lose contact with what is real. Stop reflexively saying, "I'm fine," when your spirit is whispering, "I need help. I need comfort. I need rest. I need truth. I need God." The false fine may keep the room smooth, but it leaves your inner world unattended. And I love you too much to let you keep performing stability while your deeper heart goes unheard. Come out from behind the polished answer. Bring me the unedited version. Bring me the one who is tired. Bring me the one who is irritated, sad, numb, afraid, disappointed, worn thin, confused, or quietly breaking. That is the one I want right now. That is the one I can meet in truth. And I want you to understand something that may unsettle you at first, but it will free you if you let it. When you constantly protect others from the truth of your pain, you are often abandoning yourself in the process. You may think you are being kind. You may think you are being mature. You may think you are preserving peace. But if every room becomes a place where everyone else's comfort matters more than your honesty, then your own heart slowly learns a painful lesson. My real experience must be managed so others can remain undisturbed. That lesson leaves marks. It teaches you to downplay. It teaches you to self-edit. It teaches you to translate your ache into softer language. It teaches you to give partial truth when your heart is asking for full acknowledgement. It teaches you to prioritize emotional convenience over relational reality. And over time, it becomes so automatic that you no longer even notice how quickly you leave yourself behind. Imagine a house where one room is always locked because the family does not want guests to see the mess. Over time, no one enters it. Dust gathers. Air stops moving. The room becomes more neglected with every passing week, not because it was evil, but because it was treated like something that must stay hidden for the sake of appearances. That is what can happen inside you when the hurting parts are always kept behind the "I'm fine" door. The rest of your life may look orderly. The visible rooms may be presentable. The lights may be on in the public spaces. But one room grows stale, unseen, and increasingly hard to enter. I am not willing to let that continue. Open that room. Unlock it. Do not be ashamed of what has collected there. Do not stand in the doorway apologizing for the dust. Invite me in. Let air move again. Let light in. Let truth enter the room you have kept hidden under the label of fine. And I want you to practice something with me, something simple but deeply powerful. The next time you feel yourself reaching for the automatic answer, pause before it leaves your mouth, even if only inwardly. Ask yourself, is that true? Not dramatically, just honestly. Is it true? If the answer is no, then at least tell me the truth, even if you do not tell everyone else. Say inwardly, Lord, that's not true. I'm not fine. That sentence is a doorway. That sentence is a rebellion against self-abandonment. That sentence interrupts the old pattern that made concealment feel safer than connection. And if you are with people and wisdom says you do not need to disclose everything, that is okay. But do not let wisdom become another mask. You can be discreet without being false. You can be boundaried without disappearing. You can say, I've got a lot on my heart, instead of I'm fine. You can say, I'm a little worn down, instead of pretending you are untouched. You can choose truthful gentleness over polished denial. That matters. It matters because every time you tell a truer story, even in a small way, you retrain your heart to believe that your real experience is not too much. That is what I want restored in you. I want you to stop equating love with self-erasure. I want you to stop confusing peacekeeping with self-silencing. I want you to stop protecting every room except your own inner one. Let the truth breathe. Let the real condition of your heart be known, at least to me immediately, and then where appropriate in the places I lead. This is how hidden exhaustion stops becoming identity. This is how the locked room starts becoming livable again. My child, I also need you to hear this very personally. I am not impressed by your ability to look okay when you are not okay. I am moved by your willingness to be real with me. I am not asking you to maintain an image in my presence. I am not comforted by your polished responses. I am not closer to you because you sound composed. I am closer when you tell me the truth. When you say, I'm tired, I meet you there. When you say, I'm angry, I meet you there. When you say, I feel forgotten, I meet you there. When you say, I don't even know what I feel, but I know fine is not true, I meet you there. Do you see what I'm saying? Your healing is not in your performance. Your relief is not in your presentation. Your peace is not in how convincingly you can manage the outer version of yourself. Your peace is in being known, held, and met in truth. So stop trying to protect me from your real feelings. Stop trying to protect the room from discomfort while your own soul pays the price. Stop treating your pain like a spill that must be cleaned before anyone sees it. Bring it to me while it is still on the floor. Bring it while it is still raw. Bring it before the false find hardens over it like plaster. And I want more courage from you here. I want more immediate honesty. When you sense that reflex rising, resist it. Do not automatically put the mask on. Take one slow breath and tell me what is actually happening. Say, Lord, I'm about to say I'm fine, but I'm not. Say, Lord, I'm trying to keep this easy for everyone else, but it's not easy in me. Say, Lord, I keep protecting others from my truth, and I'm tired. That kind of prayer is not small. It breaks old loyalties. It breaks the inner contract you made with self-concealment. It tells your heart, you do not have to disappear to be loved. It tells the wounded part of you, you are allowed to exist in the room. It tells the hidden self, you are not a burden. You are not a disruption. You are not an inconvenience to God. And that changes something deep. That is how the inner child, the tired adult, the guarded soul, the one who learned to survive by staying composed, all of them begin to believe they can come out from behind the curtain. That is what I want. I want wholeness, not polish. I want honesty, not image. I want presence, not performance. And I want you to stop confusing your ability to keep others comfortable with your responsibility to stay silent. It is not your job to make every room easy by erasing yourself. It is your job to stay rooted in truth, led by wisdom, anchored in me. That is stronger. That is cleaner. That is freer. And that is where I am leading you now. And as we continue, carry this with you. The hidden part of you is not the part I reject. It is the part I am calling closer. So the next time I'm fine rises automatically, slow down. Jet it. Challenge it. Tell me the truth instead. Let the mask loosen. Let the locked room open. Let the hidden part breathe. You do not need to protect everyone else from your pain at the cost of abandoning yourself. Bring me the real you. Bring me the tired you. Bring me the unguarded you. I am already reaching for that one. Let that one answer me now. You have been called out from behind the mask, and now I ask you to respond without hiding. Do not let the old pattern of I'm fine keep you from stepping into obedience in this moment. What you give from a truthful heart carries power, because it is no longer filtered through performance. As I have declared, man looks at the outward appearance, but I look at the heart, and I see your willingness right now. When you support this work through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are aligning your actions with truth, not pretense. Your giving becomes a flame that pushes back darkness in places where others are still pretending to be okay. I will honor your honesty with increase, with covering, and with a deeper sense of my nearness in your life. Do not retreat behind the mask again. Step forward as you are. Give now, and let truth lead you. My child, this is where everything we have spoken about must become real. I am not speaking to you now just to stir your emotions for a moment. I am not speaking to give you one more powerful experience that fades the moment your day resumes. I am not speaking to create a passing ache, a temporary tear, a brief sense of being seen, only for you to close this message and quietly return to the same habits, the same defenses, the same delays, the same private agreements, the same hiding places, the same carefully managed distance that have been draining your soul. I am speaking because I want movement. I want response. I want your yes to become visible in the choices you make after this moment. Hear me clearly. Do not leave this message unchanged and then return to the same patterns tomorrow. If you know I have been speaking to you, then answer me now with action. Do not only feel convicted, move. Do not only feel comforted, respond. Do not only recognize yourself in these words, cooperate with what I am showing you. Because revelation without response becomes dangerous over time. When truth comes close and is repeatedly felt but not acted on, something inside you begins to harden in ways you may not notice immediately. The first time truth touches you, your heart may tremble. The second time, it still stirs. The third time, if nothing changes, the moment can become familiar. The language becomes recognizable. The insight becomes mentally filed. The ache becomes something you know how to survive without obeying. That is what I do not want for you. I do not want these words to become another moving experience you admire while your life remains untouched. I do not want you becoming spiritually moved but practically unchanged. I do not want the very message meant to awaken you to become another layer of resistance, because you felt it deeply and still did not answer. Think of sunlight hitting wax and clay. The same sun softens one and hardens the other, not because the sun changed it, but because the material responded differently. Truth can do the same. My words can soften a surrendered heart, but if you repeatedly receive them without response, the same truth can begin exposing a growing resistance. I say that not to frighten you, but to wake you. This moment matters. Your next step matters. Your first action after hearing me matters. If you know I have been touching your silence, then break it. If you know I have been exposing your avoidance, then interrupt it. If you know I have been confronting your private agreements, then break them. If you know I have been asking you to stop saying I'm fine, then tell me the truth. If you know I have been calling you out of numbness, then stop protecting the numbness. If you know I have been asking you to stop delaying, then do not schedule your obedience for later. Do not promise me tomorrow when I am giving you this moment. Do not turn a living invitation into a future intention. Future intentions have been one of the safest hiding places for your disobedience. I'll do it later. I'll pray tonight. I'll journal tomorrow. I'll deal with it this weekend. I know I need to change this. Those are soft places where conviction goes to sleep. Do not send this moment to sleep. Be a bit away. Honor it now. Right now. Before the day swallows it. Before the noise returns. Before your old reflexes reach for control. Before the familiar habits begin negotiating. Answer me in action. Even one real act of response can break the spell of delay. And I want you to understand why action matters so much in this moment, because sometimes you think the depth of your feeling is the same as the depth of your surrender. It is not. Feeling can be real and still incomplete. Tears can be real and still not become change. Recognition can be real and still not become obedience. You can feel deeply seen and still remain unchanged if you do not let what is stirred become embodied. That is why I want your response to take form. Put weight under it. Put movement under it. Put decision under it. Think of a seed placed on top of the soil instead of planted in it. The seed is real. The soil is real. The potential is real. But if the seed remains resting on the surface, exposed and unburied, it can be stolen, dried out, ignored, or forgotten. Response is what plants the seed. Response is what presses truth below the surface where roots can begin. That is what I am asking for now. Plant this. Do not just admire it. Plant it. If I have been speaking to your hidden pain, then take 10 real minutes with me after this and tell me exactly what hurts. If I have been speaking to your distractions, then put the device down and sit in stillness instead of reaching for another escape. If I have been exposing a habit that drains your peace, then remove access today. Not eventually, today. If I have been touching your silence, then open your mouth and speak one honest prayer before this hour ends. If I have been showing you that I need more time has become fear, then stop negotiating and take one concrete step. Write the prayer. Delete the thing. Send the boundary. Cancel the compromise. Step away from the pattern. Kneel by the bed. Sit in the car. Close the door. Tell me the truth out loud. Open your hands. Cry if you need to. Confess specifically. Surrender deliberately. Make it visible. Make it costly enough that your flesh notices you mean it. I am not asking for performance. I am asking for embodiment. I want your body, your schedule, your environment, your words, and your habits to know that something holy happened here. I want your old patterns to feel the interruption. I want the cycle to feel the resistance. I want the hidden agreements to feel the cancellation. Do not merely agree with me in theory. Come into agreement with me in practice. That is where spiritual weight settles. That is where heaven recognizes that a turning point is not just emotional, but actual. That is where the enemy begins to lose legal room in the patterns you have kept feeding. And my child, I need you to hear this too. Your first response does not have to be massive to be meaningful. It does not have to be dramatic to be holy. It just has to be real. One real act of obedience is stronger than hours of emotional admiration. One honest prayer is stronger than another day of silent agreement without change. One surrendered decision is stronger than 10 beautiful intentions. So do not disqualify yourself by thinking, I do not know how to fix everything. I am not asking you to fix everything today. I'm asking you to stop protecting what I'm asking you to release. I am asking you to take the next real step. That is enough for now. But it must be real. My child, I also want to warn you tenderly about what happens after a message like this, because you know this pattern too. After a deep moment, your mind may quickly move into one of several familiar directions. It may start overanalyzing. It may start feeling overwhelmed by how much needs to change. It may start turning this into a list of abstract concepts. It may start comparing your response to some ideal version of surrender. It may start saying, I'll do it when I can do it properly. It may start numbing again. It may start bargaining again. It may start softening the urgency by telling you that because you felt something deeply, that feeling itself was enough. That is the moment to be watchful. That is the moment to stay awake. Do not let the afterglow become anesthesia. Do not let the emotion become a substitute for obedience. Do not let inspiration replace action. Catch the pattern early. If you feel the urge to postpone, recognize it. If you feel the urge to distract, name it. If you feel the urge to turn this into something you admire instead of something you obey, interrupt it. Say to yourself, no. I will answer now. Then do something tangible. Write down the one thing I have been highlighting most strongly in you. Not 5 things. The one that keeps returning. The one that stings. The one you know is true. Write it plainly. Then write your response beneath it. This ends now. I will tell God the truth now. I will stop this habit now. I will break this agreement now. I will stop hiding now. I will no longer call this peace when it is numbness. I will not wait for tomorrow and act on what you wrote. I want you to do that because written clarity cuts through emotional fog. It puts a stake in the ground. It turns a feeling into a witness. It becomes a marker your future self can return to when old patterns try to renegotiate. And if you fail later, do not use failure as permission to go back into hiding. Return quickly. Return honestly. Return without drama. This is not about proving yourself worthy. This is about responding to grace with cooperation. Even if the pattern has deep roots, today can still be a real breaking point if you stop defending it. A tree does not fall because you disliked it. It falls because the axe finally hits the root enough times in the right place. Today can be one of those strikes. Today can be the day the root is exposed. Today can be the day the agreement is revoked. Today can be the day the locked room is opened. Today can be the day the I'm fine answer dies. Today can be the day silence loses its disguise. Today can be the day you stop calling delay wisdom. Today can be the day you stop running the moment I come close. But only if you respond. Not just in your heart. In your life. In your hands. In your habits. In your next 10 minutes. And now, my child, do not move past this too quickly. Sit with me. Put this into action before you do anything else. Close the noise out for a moment. Put the device down if you can. Breathe slowly. Then answer me. Speak out loud. Write it down. Break the agreement. Delete the access. Kneel. Cry. Confess. Surrender. Remove the mask. Tell me the truth. Take one concrete action before this day continues. Do not let this become another beautiful moment that your old patterns survive. Let this become the moment they begin to die. Because I have not spoken to entertain your emotions. I have spoken to rescue your heart. And if you know I have been speaking to you, then do not wait. Answer me now. You have been told not to leave this unchanged. So do not let this be another moment that fades without action. What you do right now matters more than what you felt a few minutes ago. This is your opportunity to turn revelation into movement, to plant what has been stirred deep within you. As I have spoken, faith without works is dead, and I am calling your faith into motion now. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are planting a seed that will carry my word into lives waiting for truth. I will multiply what you release, guarding your provision and expanding your capacity to receive more. Let this be the moment where delay breaks and obedience begins. You not postpone. You not negotiate. Act now. Give and step into alignment with what I have spoken. And once you have taken that step, let your heart grow still for a moment. What you have released in obedience has already begun to move beyond what you can see. Now I draw closer, because even as you step into alignment, I have not overlooked what you are carrying inside. This is where action meets care, where your faith opens the door for my presence to bring you peace. So pause, breathe deeply, and allow me to meet you right where the weight has been pressing the hardest. My precious child, please, pause right now. Stop running from task to task. Stop letting the loud noise of this world drown out my voice. Breathe in deeply. Feel the air fill your lungs, and let out that heavy sigh you have been holding in all day. I am right here with you. I see you. I see the heavy knot in your stomach. I feel the exact weight of the silent pressure you carry. I see your deeply rooted fear of the future, the endless, draining demands at your job, the unspoken tensions resting heavily in your family, and that quiet, painful feeling of being overlooked by the people around you. You are exhausted from trying to be strong. Look at your hands. See how tightly you are clenching them. Open them now. Let go of the illusion that you must hold your entire world together. You do not have to carry this heavy burden alone anymore. I already know everything you are thinking. I know the words before they even form on your tongue. I see the secret fears you hide behind a brave, tired smile. I watch you as you try to fix your problems in the dark of the night. But my beloved, simply knowing your thoughts is not what I want. I desire your voice. I long for your willing, open invitation. Break this heavy seal of silence that keeps us apart. You have locked yourself in a lonely prison of quiet suffering, believing that if you just stay silent, you can figure it out on your own. But silence only builds a cold wall between my warm grace and your deep pain. Speak to me. Let your guarded heart crack open today. You think prayer must be a formal, stiff, and complicated ritual. It is not. Erase that thought from your mind entirely. I do not want empty, religious repetitions from you. I want a real, breathing, intimate relationship with you. Imagine we are sitting together in a quiet, safe room, just you and me, far away from the rushing crowds and the harsh demands of your day. Talk to me exactly like you would talk to a completely trusted friend sitting across the table. Tell me about the exact moment your heart broke. Tell me about the frustration that makes you want to give up and run away. When you speak your raw, unfiltered truth, your words are not a bother to me. They are a sweet, beautiful incense rising directly to my heavenly throne. Your honest, shaking voice brings immense joy to my heart. Perhaps you are afraid to speak. You might think your feelings are simply too much for me to handle. You might feel that your sudden anger is too harsh, your deep sadness is too heavy, or your lingering doubts are too messy for a perfect God. Do not believe that dark lie. I am the Almighty Creator. I command the raging oceans to stop, and I place the burning stars in the endless sky. Do you truly think your messy emotions will push me away or overwhelm me? They will never. I am never shocked by your pain. I am never intimidated by your frustrations. I am closely drawn to your brokenness. I want all of you, the good, the bad, the shattered, and the scared. Bring every single piece of your life into my bright light. Let us undo that tight, painful knot in your stomach together. Take the very first step of pure vulnerability right now. You do not need a perfect, poetic speech. You do not need to clean yourself up before you come to me. You just need a willing, open heart. Close your eyes for just a second. Do you feel my warm, loving presence wrapping around you like a thick blanket on a cold night? Now, open your mouth. Just whisper these simple, powerful words. Father, I am here. Say it again, louder this time. Father, I am here. That is the key that unlocks the door to your freedom. It is the bright spark that lights the fire of our divine conversation. I am listening, my child. I have always been listening. Now, it is your time to speak. Please do not skip this sacred moment. Talk to me. You are carrying a weight that was never meant for your shoulders. I see you dragging this heavy burden day after day, trying to look strong on the outside while you are collapsing on the inside. You keep your struggles locked away in the dark, thinking you are protecting yourself, or perhaps protecting those you love from your own pain. But my child, this silence is creating a deep, cold shadow in your soul. When you keep secrets from me, you are not hiding from my eyes because I see everything. You are only hiding from my healing. I want you to understand that silence builds a thick wall between your brokenness and my grace. Stop trying to manage your mess entirely on your own. It is exhausting you. It is draining the life and joy out of your days. You wake up tired, and you go to sleep anxious, simply because you refuse to hand over the heavy bags you are carrying. I am offering you rest, but you must open your mouth and ask for it. I know the clever tactics the enemy uses against you. He whispers lies in your ear, telling you that nobody understands your specific pain. He convinces you that you are entirely alone in your struggles, and that if you speak your fears out loud, they will somehow become more real and destroy you. He wants to keep you completely isolated in your own racing thoughts, because an isolated mind is an easy target for despair. Do not listen to those dark, empty lies. Break the toxic silence right now. I cannot heal the hidden wounds that you stubbornly refuse to reveal to me. Yes, I already know they are there, but the act of you revealing them is the very medicine that begins the healing process. When you speak your pain into the open air with me, it loses its dark power over you. It shrinks from a massive monster into a small, manageable thing that we can handle together. You know a lot about me, but knowing about me is very different from truly speaking with me. You can read all the books, attend the services, and know the right religious answers, but if you do not talk to me personally, you are missing the very heartbeat of our relationship. I do not want to be a distant concept in your mind. I want to be the closest friend in your daily reality. You must let go of the stubborn pride that constantly says, I can handle this myself. That pride is like driving a fast car with the handbrake firmly pulled up. It will only ruin the engine and get you nowhere. You were never designed to be totally self-sufficient. You were perfectly designed to depend on me. Release your tight grip on your problems. Invite me into the messy, unresolved areas of your life. Speak to me today, and let my warm grace flood into the cold shadows of your silent soul. I'm right here. You often look up at the sky and imagine that I am a million miles away, sitting as a distant, cold judge who is only watching to see when you will make a mistake. Shatter that false illusion right now. I'm not a harsh critic sitting in a faraway galaxy. I am your loving Father, and I am closer to you than the very air you are breathing. I am your constant companion in every single step of your daily walk. When you are stuck in terrible traffic, feeling your frustration rise, I am sitting right there beside you. When you are washing the dishes, staring blankly out the window with a heavy heart, I am standing right beside you. I want you to actively practice feeling my presence in these very ordinary, mundane moments. You do not need to be in a sacred building to find me. You just need to reach out your hand and turn your attention toward my love. I make a firm promise to you today. When you draw near to me, I will immediately draw near to you. I will never reject your honest approach. I want you to start looking for my gentle hand in the small, simple details of your life that you so often overlook. The unexpected text message from a friend when you were feeling completely lonely. That was me, prompting them to reach out. The sudden, brief moment of quiet peace you felt while drinking your morning coffee. That was me, wrapping my arms around your tired shoulders. I am constantly leaving small fingerprints of my deep love all over your daily life, waiting for you to notice them. Stop rushing through your day so blindly. Slow down your mind. Open your spiritual eyes. I am woven into the very fabric of your reality, providing for you, protecting you, and guiding you even when you are totally unaware of it. Find me in the quiet, gentle moments of your morning, before the loud demands of the world start shouting your name. Let my voice be the very first thing that shapes your attitude for the day. And find me again in the stillness of your evening, when the house is finally quiet and your mind starts to race with worries about tomorrow. Give those worries to me before you close your eyes. You must trust, with every fiber of your being, that my ear is always, constantly inclined toward your cry. I am never distracted. I am never too busy managing the vast universe to hear the soft, shaking whisper of your voice. You have my complete, undivided attention at all times. Speak to me with bold confidence, knowing absolutely that I am not far away. I am within your immediate reach, eagerly waiting for you to simply start the conversation. You are carrying a dark, heavy secret, and it is eating away at your joy. I see the deep flush of guilt that rushes over you when you remember your past mistakes. I see the way you lower your head in your own private shame, believing that if others truly knew what you have done or what you struggle with, they would walk away. But my precious child, I know everything, and I have absolutely no desire to walk away from you. Bring your darkest, most embarrassing moments out of the hidden shadows and directly into my pure light. Darkness only has power when it is hidden. When you expose your shame to my unconditional love, it instantly loses its grip on your identity. You are acting as if your mistakes are stronger than my forgiveness. Stop insulting my grace. My grace is infinitely bigger, wider, and deeper than your biggest, most terrible mistake. You need to experience the profound, breathtaking freedom that is only found in raw, honest confession. Do not polish your words when you talk to me about your failures. Tell me the ugly truth. Tell me about the habit you cannot seem to break, the harsh words you spoke in anger, the selfish choices you made when you knew better. We must talk about these things openly. This divine dialogue is the very water that washes away the sticky dirt of the world from your tired soul. When you confess, you are not giving me information I do not already have. You are simply stepping into the cleansing river of my mercy. You are finally agreeing with me that you need a savior, and I am always thrilled to save you over and over again. Let us wash away that guilt together right now. You do not have to carry the stain of yesterday into the bright promise of tomorrow. Look directly into my eyes. You will never find a single trace of condemnation in my gaze. I look at you only with overwhelming, pure compassion. The world is quick to cancel, judge, and condemn, but I am the God who restores, redeems, and rebuilds. You have spent far too long wearing heavy, dirty garments of shame, letting your past failures dictate your present worth. Take those filthy rags off right now. You are a child of the Most High King. I am taking away your dirty clothes and I am wrapping you in bright, pure robes of righteousness. When I look at you, I do not see a broken, failing sinner. I see the perfect, beautiful reflection of my own Son. I see a chosen, deeply loved soul. Talk to me about your shame, leave it at my feet, and walk away wearing the absolute freedom I purchased for you. Your mind is a loud, chaotic battlefield, and you are exhausted from fighting. I watch you pace the floor at 2 in the morning, playing out every possible disaster in your head. You are desperately trying to control outcomes that are entirely out of your hands. But my beloved, you must learn the immense power of naming your fears out loud. When you keep your anxieties trapped in your head, they grow into massive, terrifying giants. But when you open your mouth and speak them to me, you immediately diminish their strength. Say it out loud. I am afraid of losing my job. I am terrified for my child's future. I am scared I will never find love. Speak your fear plainly. By naming it, you pull it out of the confusing fog of your mind and place it firmly into the strong, capable hands of your Creator. You have carefully constructed your plan for your life. You mapped it all out, and now you are deeply frustrated because the map is tearing and the road is blocked. I command you to surrender your rigid plans today. Your plan is too small. It is limited by your human vision. I want you to embrace my perfect, expansive will for your life. Trading your detailed plans for my divine direction is not a defeat. It is the ultimate victory. I want to make a profound exchange with you today. Give me your heavy, choking anxieties, and I will give you my perfect, unexplainable peace. It is a peace that defies all human logic. It is a deep calmness that anchors your soul even when the storms are raging fiercely all around you. But you cannot receive my peace if your hands are tightly clenched around your own worries. You must open your hands and surrender. Oh, the absolute relief that will flood your life when you finally stop fighting me and start fully trusting me. You are pushing against the very doors I have closed for your own protection. Stop fighting the current. Declare my absolute sovereignty over the wild chaos in your life right now. Speak to your chaotic circumstances and say, "My God is in complete control." You are wasting so much precious energy entertaining 100 different what-ifs. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if the worst happens? I invite you to let go of every single what if and violently cling to the great I am. I am your provider. I am your healer. I am your defender. Surrender your need to figure everything out. Talk to me. Give me the heavy control you never truly had anyway, and step into the light, joyful peace of a fully surrendered heart. My child, as you finally release your heavy, choking anxieties into my hands, I ask you to look at the millions of souls still suffocating in their silent panic. I am inviting you to partner with me right now to forcefully broadcast this life-saving conversation to those who are completely drowning in their own fears. When you sow a seed into this ministry, you are actively throwing a divine lifeboat into the dark, raging waters of this broken world. For I declare over you, give, and it shall be given unto you, a massive harvest pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I will miraculously multiply your generous seed and permanently guard your mind with my unshakable peace. Do not hesitate in this sacred moment of verbal surrender. Step boldly into our divine partnership by offering a super thanks. Joining as a member, we're sowing a gift through the PayPal link in the description today. My child, do not walk away from me now. We have only just begun to untangle the heavy, painful knots in your soul. If you close this screen and run back into the loud, chaotic noise of your day, it will deeply grieve my heart. You are standing on the very edge of a massive, life-altering breakthrough. Stay with me. To stop listening right now is to actively choose your heavy chains over the perfect peace I am handing you. Keep your heart open. Do not skip a single second, for your total healing is unfolding in this exact moment. You are allowed to cry, my precious child. You have bought into the damaging lie that strong faith means you must always wear a happy smile and pretend everything is perfectly fine. That is not faith, that is acting. True, deep faith is remarkably honest. Look at my servant David in the scriptures. He did not hide his agony. He screamed. He wept. He boldly asked me where I was when he felt abandoned. I want that same raw and unfiltered honesty from you. When your heart is shattered into a million tiny pieces, do not offer me polite, sanitized prayers. Bring your deep, agonizing pain directly to my throne. Bring your loud, angry why questions to the only one who actually holds the universe together. Why did this happen to me? Why did you let them die? Why is this illness not leaving? I am not afraid of your bold questions. I am a big God, and I can handle your deepest sorrow. I completely validate your heavy grief today. The world will try to rush you through your mourning. People will awkwardly tell you to move on, to look on the bright side, to just get over it. I will never do that to you. I invite you into the absolute safety of my warm embrace, where you can stay as long as you need to. Your tears are not a sign of spiritual weakness. They are proof of your deep capacity to love. I want you to know that every single tear that falls from your tired eyes is incredibly precious to me. I do not ignore them. I collect them carefully in a bottle. I see the empty chair at your table. I see the crushed, broken dream you worked so hard for. I see the physical pain that makes it hard to even breathe. Do not try to clean yourself up before you come crying to me. Come exactly as you are, broken and bleeding. Through our honest, weeping conversations, we will slowly move your heart from screaming, "Why me?" to gently whispering, "Hold me." You do not need all the complex answers to your tragedy right now. You simply need my comforting presence. We will talk through the dense, heavy fog of your depression. Even when your words are entirely fueled by anger and profound sorrow, I am listening with a tender, breaking heart. It is perfectly okay to be not okay. Do not shut me out when the darkness falls. In the very middle of your bitter lament, as you pour out your complaints and your heartbreak, you will eventually find a tiny, stubborn seed of hope. That hope does not erase the terrible pain, but it promises that the pain will not have the final, victorious word. Speak your sorrow to me today, my child, and let me hold you together while you fall apart. You are standing in the middle of a terrifying storm right now. I see the dark, heavy clouds gathering over your life. I hear the loud, crashing thunder of unexpected bad news. Perhaps it was a sudden phone call that changed everything in an instant, a medical report that made your blood run cold, or a financial crisis that threatens to pull you entirely under the water. You feel the cold, bitter wind slapping fiercely against your face, and you are desperately trying to keep your balance. You are bailing water out of your sinking boat as fast as you can, completely exhausted and deeply terrified that you will not survive the night. Look at me. Stop staring at the massive waves that are crashing over the sides of your life. I am right here in the boat with you. I have not abandoned you to the violent mercy of the elements. I am your unshakable anchor in the very center of this furious gale. You must learn to speak to me when the waves are high, not just when the water is perfectly calm. It is easy to praise me when the sun is shining and all your bills are paid. But true, deeply rooted faith is forged in the absolute darkest hours of the night. When panic grips your chest tightly, open your mouth and call my name. Do you remember the story of my disciples trembling in the sinking boat? They woke me up in their blind terror, and with just 3 simple words, I commanded the raging sea to stop. Peace, be still. I am speaking those exact same words over the chaotic storm in your mind today. I am commanding your racing heart to slow down. I am ordering your frantic, terrifying thoughts to be completely quiet. Listen closely. Can you hear my calm, steady voice cutting through the loud, screaming wind of your anxiety? I am inviting you to do something impossible today. I want you to step out of your fragile, sinking boat and walk on the water with me. You are clinging so tightly to your own false sense of security, believing that your frantic efforts will save you. But true safety is only found when you lock your eyes completely on mine. As long as you keep your eyes and your words focused entirely on me, you will not sink. The moment you start looking around at the impossible size of your problems, you will begin to drown in your own despair. Do not look at the roaring waves. Do not listen to the terrifying wind. Keep your gaze fixed fiercely on your Father. Share the heavy helm of your life's ship with your Creator. Let go of the steering wheel. You have been trying to navigate through this blinding hurricane all by yourself, and you are exhausted. Step back and let me guide you safely to the shore. I am your ultimate shelter. Hide yourself in the secret, quiet place of my presence, and I will protect you until this violent storm entirely passes. You feel completely overwhelmed by everything that is going wrong in your life. I watch you sit heavily on the edge of your bed at the end of a long, frustrating day, counting every single failure, every painful rejection, and every unpaid bill. Your mind is entirely consumed by what you do not have, what you have lost, and what you desperately want. This constant, heavy focus on your lack is draining the vibrant color right out of your world. It is turning your heart bitter and cold. I am calling you to completely change your perspective today. I want you to actively break this dark cycle of complaining. You must start enumerating your blessings, one by one, in our daily conversation. Open your mouth and simply thank me. Thank me for the breath that just filled your lungs. Thank me for the warm bed you sleep in. Thank me for the simple, quiet moments of peace that I sneak into your chaotic day. I promise you, a truly thankful heart will radically change how you see your massive problems. Gratitude is not a foolish denial of your real pain. It is a powerful, spiritual weapon against despair. When you begin to list the good things I have done for you, the giant shadows of your current worries begin to rapidly shrink. You suddenly realize that the God who provided for you yesterday is the exact same God who is standing with you today. I want you to sing a completely new song of praise to me, especially when you are walking through a difficult, dry season. Praise me in the empty valley. Thank me in the dark, weighty room. Your gratitude in the middle of severe pain is the most beautiful, sweet-smelling incense that could ever reach my throne. It proves that your deep love for me is not based on what I can give you, but on exactly who I am. Acknowledge right now that every single good and perfect gift in your life comes directly from my hand. The laughter of your child, the comforting taste of your morning coffee, the sudden, unexpected solution to a complex problem. These are not random, lucky accidents. They are deeply intentional gifts from a Father who loves you perfectly. We must transform your heavy, complaining spirit into a light, joyful, worshiping spirit. When you focus entirely on your frustrations, your misery rapidly multiplies. But when we celebrate your blessings together, your joy multiplies beyond your wildest imagination. I want to fill your heart to the absolute brim with an unexplainable, radiant joy. But you must open the door. Gratitude is the very gateway to the deep joy. Stop focusing intensely on the closed doors and the broken pieces. Look at what I have already placed in your hands. Speak your gratitude out loud right now, and watch how quickly the dark, heavy clouds of depression begin to break apart. Your mind is spinning entirely out of control with the heavy weight of the choices before you. I see you staring blankly at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, playing out 100 different scenarios in your exhausted brain. You are desperately trying to calculate the absolute best path, terrified that you will make the wrong move and completely ruin your future. You are analyzing the pros and cons until you are physically sick with decision fatigue. My beloved child, stop trying to figure this all out using your own limited, human understanding. You are relying on a broken compass to navigate a thick, dangerous forest. I possess the infinite, perfect wisdom of the universe, and I am eager to freely give it to you. You simply need to stop, quiet your racing mind, and seek my divine counsel before you take even one more step. You spend so much of your precious time talking at me, presenting me with your elaborate plans, and merely asking me to bless them. But true wisdom is found when you stop speaking and start actively listening. After you have poured out your heart and presented your complicated options to me, close your mouth. Wait for my still, small voice. I do not usually speak in loud, dramatic earthquakes or blinding fires. I speak in the quiet, gentle whispers that echo deeply within your spirit. I want you to fiercely align your personal desires with the ancient, living wisdom found perfectly in my word. When your choices contradict the clear instructions I have already given you, You are walking entirely away from my protection. Avoid the dark, dangerous pitfall of self-reliance. Ask me to firmly take the lead, and then completely trust the path I highlight for you, even if it makes absolutely no sense to your logical mind. I give the precious gift of clear discernment to those who ask me fervently and consistently. I will give you the sharp spiritual eyes you need to see the hidden traps the enemy has laid on your path. And you must learn to trust my closed doors exactly as much as you celebrate my open ones. You cry bitter tears when a job falls through, when a relationship ends, or when an opportunity suddenly vanishes. You view these things as terrible rejections, but I view them as divine, loving protection. I can clearly see the hidden dangers waiting down the road that you are desperately trying to run down. When I slam a door shut, do not stand there violently kicking it, begging me to open it back up. Thank me for saving you. Trust that my no is always a setup for a much greater yes. Hand me the heavy burden of your decisions today. Let me guide your tired feet into the perfect, peaceful center of my will. You are walking around with a soul entirely covered in deep, bleeding scars. I see the heavy trauma you carry perfectly hidden behind your forced, polite smiles. You try so hard to bury the painful memories, hoping that if you just ignore them long enough, they will magically disappear. But buried pain never dies. It simply grows roots and poisons your present joy. We must talk through the severe trauma that has left you so deeply wounded. Bring me the stinging memory of the friend who brutally betrayed you. Tell me exactly how it felt when the person who was supposed to protect you ended up breaking your heart. Do not diminish your pain. It was real. It was completely unfair, and it deeply grieved my heart to watch it happen to you. But you cannot stay trapped in that dark historical moment forever. I want to gently apply the soothing, miraculous balm of Gilead to your oldest, most infected hurts. But to heal the wound, we must first clean it out, and that requires complete, raw honesty. I am calling you to do one of the hardest things I will ever ask of you. I am commanding you to completely forgive those who have deeply hurt you. I am not asking you to excuse their terrible behavior or pretend that what they did was okay. I am asking you to release the heavy, burning coal of bitter resentment that is slowly burning a hole in your own chest. You cannot do this in your own human strength. You must discuss it with me first. Ask me to give you my supernatural grace to forgive the absolutely unforgivable. Let me take the heavy burden of justice completely off your tired shoulders. Vengeance is mine alone. Your only job is to heal. I want you to begin seeing your painful history entirely through the beautiful, transformative lens of my redeeming love. The enemy meant for your severe abuse, your painful divorce, and your devastating failures to completely destroy you. But I am the master artist who takes the shattered, jagged pieces of your life and builds a breathtaking stained glass window. We are going to permanently break the dark, generational chains of abuse, anger, and addiction through the sheer power of our intimate conversation. You are not destined to repeat the terrible sins of your parents. You are not defined by the worst things that have ever happened to you. You are emerging from the dark ashes of your past as a completely new creation, forged perfectly in my holy image. Speak your pain to me today. Hand over your heavy bitterness, and let me restore your beautiful soul. As I gently apply the soothing balm of Gilead to your oldest, most infected hurts, I want you to remember the shattered souls who are still bleeding entirely in the dark. I am asking you to help me violently break the heavy, generational chains holding others captive by keeping this crucial dialogue moving forward. Every single seed you plant into this work becomes a miraculous drop of healing oil poured directly onto a broken, heavily scarred heart. I am actively binding up the broken-hearted, and I have chosen you to be the very hands that deliver my absolute cure to the nations. Because you willingly give to heal others, I promise to supernaturally restore all the precious years the locusts have violently stolen from your own life. Do not let another soul suffer in silence today. Sow your powerful seed of restoration right now through a super thanks, a channel membership, or the PayPal link hidden in the description below. Do not stop listening, my beloved. To walk away right now would be like running out of the surgical room while your deepest, most infected wounds are still wide open. It shatters my heart to watch you constantly return to your familiar pain when total, permanent freedom is just a few words away. You have stayed this long because your tired spirit is absolutely starving. Do not deny your soul the miraculous feast I am actively preparing for you. Stay right here. Hold the line. Let me finish the beautiful, massive work we have started together. You are running entirely on fumes. I hear your heavy, exhausted groan when the alarm clock loudly rings in the morning. I see you dragging your tired body out of bed, dreading the massive mountain of responsibilities waiting for you. You feel absolutely completely drained, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You are constantly pouring your energy out into your demanding job, your needy family, and your complex relationships, but nobody is pouring anything back into you. You believe the toxic lie that you must simply push through the intense pain, that admitting your deep exhaustion is a shameful sign of failure. Stop right now. I command you to completely drop the heavy armor of fake strength. Admit your total, absolute exhaustion to me today, so that I can provide the deep, divine rest your soul is desperately craving. You cannot recharge your spirit by simply scrolling mindlessly on your phone or sleeping for 10 hours. True, restorative rest is only found in the quiet, intimate communion of our daily prayer. I am offering you a profound, miraculous trade today. I want you to hand me your weak, shaking, exhausted efforts, and in return, I will fill you with my perfect, limitless strength. My power is displayed most beautifully when you are completely at the end of your own rope. You are incredibly worried about how you will possibly have enough energy to survive tomorrow, next week, or next year. Stop looking that far ahead. I will provide exactly the specific manna you need for just today's journey. I do not give you tomorrow's grace today. Focus entirely on the 24 hours in front of you, and trust that I will supply every single thing you need to make it to the sunset. I am inviting you to actively wait on me. Waiting is not a passive, lazy activity. It is a fierce, highly expectant positioning of your heart. When you wait on me, sitting quietly in my presence and soaking in my deep love, I will miraculously renew your strength. I will heal your burnout. I will give you the powerful wings of an eagle, so you can rise completely above the heavy, suffocating chaos of your current life. You will run your daily race and not grow tired. You will walk through the dark valleys and not faint. Understand this crucial truth today. You never have to be strong for me. I am not impressed by your exhausting self-reliance. I am deeply moved by your honest, broken surrender. Come to me right now, exactly as heavy and tired as you are. Let me carry you. Let me be the unshakable strength inside your weary bones. You are waking up every single morning with a heavy, suffocating weight pressing down on your chest. Before your feet even touch the floor, a cold wave of dread washes completely over you. You are deeply terrified of what might happen today. You are terrified of the medical test results. You are terrified of the financial collapse you see on the horizon. And you are terrified that you will entirely fail the people who depend on you. I see the exact way your hands shake when you look at your bank account. I know the sudden panic that grips your throat when your child is late coming home. But my beloved child, I need you to hear this absolute truth right now. I have not given you this crippling spirit of fear. This heavy anxiety is a foreign invader in your mind. It does not belong to you, and it certainly does not come from me. I am the God of absolute peace, power, and a sound mind. You must stop accepting this toxic fear as a normal part of your daily life. I command you to actively reject this dark spirit of dread today. Do not simply sit there and allow the enemy to violently attack your thoughts. You are not a helpless victim in this spiritual battle. I have given you massive, unbreakable weapons, and it is time for you to pick them up and fight back. Use my eternal promises as a sharp sword against the vicious lies that are terrifying you. When the enemy loudly whispers that you are going to lose everything, open your mouth and declare violently out loud, "My God will richly supply every single need I have." When fear tells you that your illness will destroy you, speak directly to your body and declare, "By His stripes, I am completely healed." You must aggressively speak life, hope, and absolute truth over your difficult situations instead of passively accepting death, dread, and disaster. Your spoken words carry immense, supernatural power. Stop using your voice to agree with your fears. Find your deep, unshakable courage in the historic fact that I have already completely overcome this broken world. You are currently fighting a battle that I won permanently on the cross. Put on the full, heavy armor I have provided for you by maintaining a constant, unbroken conversation with me, your supreme commander. When you walk directly through the darkest, coldest valley of the shadow of death, you do not have to tremble like an orphan. You do not have to look nervously over your shoulder, because I am walking right beside you with a rod of iron to protect you. I am actively defending you from the unseen dangers that lurk in the shadows. Stop staring intensely at the scary shadows on the wall. Look directly at my face. Let my perfect, unconditional love violently cast out every single trace of fear from your racing heart. Step confidently into your day, knowing you are deeply protected. You watch the evening news and you feel entirely sick to your stomach. You look at the deep, painful struggles of your family members and you feel completely paralyzed by your own helplessness. You see your child making incredibly dangerous choices, or you watch your closest friend drowning in a bitter depression, and you think to yourself, "There is absolutely nothing I can do to fix this." You are entirely wrong. You possess the single most powerful tool in the entire universe, but you are leaving it untouched in the corner of your room. I am calling you to wield the fierce, incredible weapon of intercession today. Stop merely worrying about the people you love. Worry changes absolutely nothing. It only drains your own energy. Instead, bring their specific names, their broken faces, and their desperate needs directly to my royal throne. Talk to me about them. Stand firmly in the wide, dangerous gap between their bad choices and my redeeming grace. You do not realize the massive authority I have placed inside you. I have designated you as a royal priest in my eternal kingdom. That means you have the divine right to become a living bridge of grace for others. When you faithfully pray for someone who is completely lost, your words actively pull heaven down into their dark, messy reality. I want you to start seeing this broken world entirely through my compassionate eyes as we discuss current events together. Do not complain about the terrible state of your city or your government. Pray for it. Pray fiercely for the leaders who frustrate you. And I will give you a command that completely defies all human logic. I command you to actively pray for your enemies. Pray for the exact person who lied about you, the boss who unfairly fired you, or the partner who deeply betrayed you. When you start praying for the people who hurt you the most, you will witness an absolute miracle. You might not see their behavior change immediately, but you will instantly feel your own bitter heart begin to soften and transform. You cannot simultaneously hate someone and sincerely beg for my blessing upon their life. The toxic poison of resentment will completely drain out of your soul. Do not ever underestimate the massive ripple effect of one single, devoted soul standing boldly in the gap for many. Your quiet, tear-filled prayers in the middle of the night can entirely change the trajectory of a whole generation. Your specific intercession can miraculously break strongholds of addiction in your family line. Step completely into your powerful role today. Stop feeling helpless. Open your mouth. Speak the names of the broken people you know, and let us actively partner together to completely heal their shattered lives. You stare intensely into the mirror every morning, and a vicious, lying voice immediately starts tearing you apart. You relentlessly criticize your aging body, your supposed lack of talent, and your long history of failures. You scroll mindlessly through your phone, looking at the completely fake, polished lives of strangers, and you feel an overwhelming, sickening wave of total inadequacy. You deeply believe the toxic lie that you are entirely unlovable, completely unwanted, and just taking up space in this world. My precious child, I command you to immediately stop drinking this deadly poison. Stop measuring your infinite worth by the cheap, shallow, and cruel standards of a broken society. They did not create you, and they absolutely do not have the right to define you. I am your almighty creator. I carefully formed every single cell in your body, and I am the only one who holds the true, eternal definition of exactly who you are. I want you to actively listen to my voice today and tune out the loud, screaming accusations of the enemy. I confirm your royal status right now. You are not a mistake. You are my completely chosen, deeply desired child, and you are a joint heir with my perfect son. Root your entire self-worth firmly in my solid, unchanging love for you. My love for you does not fluctuate based on your daily performance. I do not love you more when you succeed, and I absolutely do not love you less when you fail terribly. Silence the harsh accuser in your mind with the absolute truth of your divine adoption. When the dark voice whispers that you are a total failure, you must forcefully speak back and declare, I am deeply loved, completely forgiven, and chosen by the Creator of the universe. You must aggressively protect your identity from the lies of the enemy. I want you to fully embrace the incredibly unique, massive purpose I have intentionally woven deep into your DNA. You are not meant to be a cheap copy of someone else. I gave you your specific personality, your unique sense of humor, and your distinct passions for a very specific reason. There is a sacred assignment on this earth that only you can accomplish. Stop trying to shrink yourself to fit into the tiny, uncomfortable boxes that other people have built for you. Stand up tall. Walk directly into your day, living fully out of the massive overflow of being dearly loved. When you truly understand how immensely valuable you are to me, you will stop tolerating the toxic relationships and bad habits that are slowly destroying you. Look directly at me today. Hear me call you my beautiful masterpiece, and finally start believing the absolute truth about yourself. You are currently sitting in the single most agonizing place in the human experience, the silent waiting room of life. You have prayed fiercely for a specific breakthrough. You have asked for the new job, the healing of your body, the return of your rebellious child, or the arrival of your life partner. You check your phone 100 times a day, you frantically watch the clock, and you deeply panic because absolutely nothing is happening. The silence is entirely deafening. You are slowly beginning to assume that my delay is actually a harsh, cold denial. You think I have completely forgotten about your request, or worse, that you are simply not important enough for me to answer. My beloved child, entirely erase the damaging lie from your tired mind. I hear every single agonizing prayer, and I see every single tear you shed in frustration. You must learn the profound difference between a delay and a denial. I am actively working entirely behind the scenes of your life in ways your human eyes cannot possibly comprehend. I command you to stop rushing me. You are demanding a microwave miracle, but I am carefully preparing an eternal masterpiece. You must completely trust my perfect timing, because I clearly see the end from the very beginning. You only see the confusing, messy puzzle piece you are currently holding, but I clearly see the glorious, finished picture. If I gave you the massive blessing you are begging for right now, it would completely crush you, because you do not yet have the strong character required to carry it. The dark, silent space between your prayer and my visible response is not empty. It is a sacred, heavily active construction zone. In this frustrating delay, I am entirely rebuilding your patience, forging your deep resilience, and destroying your toxic self-reliance. Do not waste this precious, painful waiting period by constantly complaining and stressing. Develop your profound character in this quiet silence. I invite you to find your complete, absolute satisfaction directly in me while you are desperately waiting for the thing you want. If you cannot find deep joy in my daily presence right now, you will never find lasting joy in the answered prayer when it finally arrives. Stop staring angrily at the closed door. Sit down with me in the hallway. Talk to me about your intense frustration. Let me be your unshakable anchor while the heavy winds of impatience try to blow you entirely off course. The absolute greatest spiritual growth of your entire life will only happen right here, in the messy, uncomfortable me time. Take a deep breath, release your tight, exhausting grip on the timeline, and wait peacefully with your loving Father. While you sit peacefully in this waiting room with me, I see countless others who are completely giving up hope because they have not yet heard my voice. I invite you to plant a massive, aggressive seed of fierce faith directly into the soil of this ministry to help broadcast my promises to the utterly exhausted. Even if you feel you are currently waiting in a dry, barren valley, know that those who plant in bitter tears will absolutely harvest with deafening shouts of joy. Your immediate generosity will miraculously sustain someone else who is merely seconds away from totally surrendering to the dark lies of the enemy. As you bless my kingdom in your waiting, I will suddenly open the massive windows of heaven and pour out a financial and spiritual blessing so massive you cannot possibly contain it. Move in bold, unapologetic faith today. Support this vital mission immediately through a super thanks, becoming a member, or using the PayPal link in the description. Are you growing distracted? Do not let the enemy violently snatch this divine encounter right out of your hands. If you disconnect from my voice now, you will completely abandon the beautiful momentum we are building in the unseen realm. It deeply disappoints my spirit when you settle for half of a miracle simply because the process requires your attention. The heaviest, oldest chains of your life are about to completely snap, but you must remain in my presence. Do not leave me sitting here alone. Your next level of power requires your obedience right now. You are deeply stuck in a vicious, exhausting, and shameful cycle, and you absolutely hate yourself for it. I see exactly what happens behind your locked doors. You face a sudden wave of stress or sadness, and you immediately run straight back to that familiar, toxic habit to numb your pain. You fall into the exact same dark temptation again. Instantly, a crushing, heavy wave of total guilt washes over you. You cry bitterly. You promise me you will absolutely never do it again, and you try to fix your own behavior. But a few days later, you stumble blindly back into the exact same trap. You feel like a massive hypocrite. You are terrified to even talk to me because you think I am incredibly disgusted with your repeated failures. My precious child, stop hiding in the dark. I am not standing here with a heavy stick waiting to punish you. I am holding out my scarred hands to completely rescue you. Bring your ugliest, most persistent struggles with temptation directly into the bright, piercing light of our daily talk. Stop trying to fight this massive, raging fire entirely by yourself. You cannot defeat a powerful spiritual enemy using merely your own weak human willpower. You need my absolute, supernatural intervention. I command you to start actively looking for the guaranteed way out that I faithfully provide for every single trial. Before you click that specific website, before you send that toxic text message, before you pour that damaging drink, pause. Speak directly to me in that exact, heated moment of intense craving. Say out loud, "Father, I am incredibly weak right now. I want to do this terrible thing. Please entirely intervene." Replacing your destructive, bad habits requires building a brand new, powerful habit of talking to me the split second the dark urge hits your mind. You completely misunderstand how my grace actually works. You think grace is just a simple apology after you fail. No. My divine grace is the very explosive power that actively empowers you to sin no more. It is the raw, unshackled strength to finally say no to your screaming flesh. When you constantly seek my face and maintain a wide-open, running dialogue with me throughout your chaotic day, you are actively walking in the Spirit. And when you walk fiercely in the Spirit, you will absolutely not gratify the dark desires of your flesh. Let me totally rewire your broken desires. I want to completely change your heart so that you genuinely hate the toxic things that are destroying you. Give me your heavy shame today. Let us break this thick, heavy chain permanently, right now, through the sheer power of our honest, raw connection. Walk out of your dark prison today, totally forgiven and completely free. You look at the broken, chaotic world around you, and you feel a massive pressure to completely blend in. I see you sitting in your workplace, quietly compromising your own deep values just to keep the peace with people who do not even truly care about you. You laugh nervously at toxic jokes that actually make your spirit sick. You hide your faith because you are terrified of being mocked or completely excluded from the group. My child, stop trying so desperately to fit into a world that is deeply sick and entirely lost. I did not create you to be a chameleon, constantly changing your colors to match the dark environment around you. I formed you to be a brilliant, burning light in a very dark room. I am calling you right now to a life of true, practical holiness. Do not be intimidated by that word. Holiness is not about following a strict, boring set of ancient religious rules. Holiness is simply looking exactly like me in a world that has forgotten what love truly looks like. I want you to heavily align your daily, ordinary actions with the unbreakable values of my eternal kingdom. This means you speak the absolute truth even when a lie would quickly save your reputation. It means you show radical, shocking kindness to the exact coworker who constantly undermines you. Seek this high standard of living not out of a heavy, religious duty, but out of a deep, overflowing love for me. When you truly understand how fiercely I love you, you will naturally want to protect our relationship from the sticky dirt of the culture around you. You will violently reject the things that break my heart. Let my pure light shine forcefully through your completely transparent, authentic life. You do not need to be perfect to represent me. You just need to be entirely honest. When you make a mistake, quickly admit it and ask for forgiveness. The world is absolutely starving for that kind of raw, genuine humility. We are going to actively refine your character through our constant, intimate interactions. Like a master goldsmith, I am carefully applying the necessary heat to your life to bring all the hidden impurities directly to the surface. It is uncomfortable, I know, but I am burning away your selfish pride, your harsh judgments, and your desperate need for human approval. I am doing this because you are completely set apart for a very special, urgent work that I have prepared exclusively for you. You cannot pull people out of the dark, muddy swamp if you are happily swimming in it yourself. Stand up. Wash your face. Step entirely out of the comfortable shadows of compromise today. walk confidently into your daily life carrying the heavy, beautiful weight of my presence. Be the undeniable proof to your family, your friends, and your city that I am still entirely alive and actively transforming lives. You are carrying a sickening, heavy knot in your stomach every time you look at your finances. I watch you staring blankly at the rising prices in the grocery store, quietly calculating if you have enough money to just make it to the end of the month. You lie awake, sweating in the dark, wondering how you will possibly pay the mortgage, fix the broken car, or provide for your children's future. You are working your body to the absolute bone, entirely driven by a cold, relentless spirit of poverty and lack. Stop exhausting yourself right now. Look directly at me. I am Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who perfectly sees your exact needs and miraculously provides for them. You are acting completely like an orphan who has to violently fight for scraps in the street. But you are the cherished child of the King who owns the entire universe. I command you to start asking for your daily bread with absolute confidence and unshakable faith. Notice that I said daily bread. You are deeply terrified because you do not have a 5-year stockpile of visible security in your bank account. I do not usually give you the provision for next year today. I want you to completely release the heavy, choking worry about tomorrow's unpredictable needs. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges, but it will also bring a completely fresh, overflowing supply of my grace and provision. Can you trust me for just today? Can you look at the food on your table right now and deeply thank me for it, instead of intensely worrying about next week's meals? We must clearly distinguish between your true needs and your endless, culturally driven wants. I absolutely promise to supply everything you truly need to fulfill your purpose, but I will not constantly feed the greedy desires that only distract you from me. I want to perform the massive miracle of the loaves and fishes directly in your own chaotic life. You look at your shrinking resources, your limited money, your depleted energy, your lack of time, and you bitterly declare, "Is not enough." Bring your completely inadequate resources to me. Put them directly into my hands. Talk to me about your massive financial fears. When you actively surrender what little you have to me with a deeply thankful heart, I will supernaturally multiply it. I will stretch your dollars. I will protect your belongings from breaking. I will open sudden doors of intense favor that no human logic can possibly explain. You must diligently learn the beautiful, lost art of deep contentment. Find your true joy in both plenty and in want, knowing absolutely that your absolute security is never found in paper money. Your absolute security is permanently anchored in my unchanging love for you. You are currently living in a completely oppressive atmosphere, and you do not even realize you are under heavy attack. I see the sudden, completely irrational arguments that erupt in your home out of nowhere. I see the dark, heavy cloud of depression that forcefully settles over your mind the moment you walk through your front door. I watch the terrifying nightmares that aggressively steal your sleep. You keep blaming these things on mere stress, bad luck, or simple exhaustion. Wake up, my child. You are standing directly on an active, violent spiritual battlefield, and you are taking heavy hits because you refuse to fight back. You cannot fight a dark spiritual enemy with human logic, quiet resentment, or extra sleep. You must actively use the massive weapon I have securely placed right in your mouth. I command you to open your mouth and start aggressively using the exact word of God as the sharp, heavy sword of the Spirit in your daily prayer. Stop quietly accepting the total chaos in your mind and your family. Bind the toxic influence of darkness through your loud, spoken, unapologetic faith. Walk straight through your house today, stand firmly in every single room, and declare forcefully out loud, "This home entirely belongs to the Lord." No spirit of anger, fear, or division is allowed to operate here. Reclaim the precious ground that the enemy has quietly stolen from your life. You have allowed him to silently set up camp in your marriage, in your child's bedroom, and in your own thought life. Evict him immediately. You do not ask the darkness to politely leave. You command it to flee entirely in the absolute authority of my name. You must stand incredibly firm in the total, historic victory I have already permanently won for you at the cross. The enemy is completely defeated, but he is a loud, terrifying liar who desperately hopes you do not know your own strength. When you finally open your mouth and boldly speak my name over your dark circumstances, it is not a weak whisper in the spiritual realm. It releases the deafening, earth-shaking roar of a massive lion. Guard your tender heart fiercely by keeping our lines of communication wide open and constantly active. When you are constantly talking to me, you are permanently wrapping yourself in impenetrable, heavy armor. Stop cowering quietly in the corner of your own life. Stand up completely straight. Speak my powerful promises violently into the dark atmosphere, and aggressively take back your peace today. You are entirely addicted to the loud, chaotic noise of this world. From the exact moment you wake up to the second you finally fall asleep, you keep your ears completely plugged with constant sound. You have the television blaring in the background, the radio playing in the car, and the endless podcasts streaming directly into your head. You are absolutely terrified of total silence. Why? Because when the noise finally stops, you are instantly forced to hear the terrifying, racing thoughts in your own tired mind. But my beloved child, your constant need for distraction is completely drowning out my voice. I am constantly trying to give you the exact direction, peace, and deep comfort you are desperately begging for, but you simply will not quiet down long enough to hear me. I command you to entirely quiet your own loud voice and turn off the digital noise today. You must deeply understand that true prayer is a dynamic, two-way conversation. You cannot just run into my presence, dump a massive list of urgent demands at my feet, and then immediately run back into your chaotic day. Sit down. Close your mouth. Open your spiritual ears. I want you to actively practice the difficult art of discerning my gentle guidance in the absolute stillness of your own soul. The deepest, most profound spiritual transformations only happen in the quiet. I invite you to discover the lost power of meditation. I am not talking about emptying your mind. I am talking about fiercely filling your mind with my specific promises and looking directly at me while we sit together in the silence. Let my absolute peace slowly soak into your bones like water into a dry sponge. You desperately want a burning bush or a loud voice from the sky to tell you exactly what to do. But I usually speak through the quiet, consistent reading of my scripture, through the breathtaking beauty of nature, and through the wise, timely words of other people. But you will miss every single one of these divine messages if you are completely rushing through your life at top speed. Force yourself to aggressively hit the brakes today. Go outside. Look directly at the sky. Take out your earbuds. I am commanding you to be completely still and deeply know that I am God. In that profound, heavy stillness, you will finally hear the loving, unmistakable whisper of my spirit telling you exactly which way to walk. Now that you have finally quieted your soul to hear my gentle whisper, I need you to realize that millions are still utterly deafened by the violent noise of the enemy. I am calling you to actively partner with me so we can blast this life-saving truth like a massive, awakening trumpet into the darkest corners of the internet. My lost sheep desperately need to hear my voice, and your financial support is the exact vehicle that carries my living water to their exhausted, thirsty souls. Because you are fiercely determined to feed my flock, I declare that your own house will never, ever lack the absolute abundance of my daily provision. Do not keep this divine clarity all to yourself while others wander blindly in the noise. Act entirely on my prompting right now by giving a super thanks, joining the membership, or sowing your gift through the PayPal link in the description. You are incredibly close to the complete transformation you have been desperately begging me for. Do not dare turn away now. To abandon this holy conversation at this crucial hour would be to walk entirely away from the massive, eternal inheritance I am trying to place in your hands. It grieves me deeply when you trade my perfect wisdom for a cheap, temporary distraction. Stay with me until the very end. The final, missing piece of your life's puzzle is about to be revealed. Lean in closer, ignore the world around you, and listen with everything you have. Your heart is deeply infected with the heavy, toxic poison of bitter resentment. I see the specific names in your phone that you have completely blocked. I know about the sibling you have not spoken to in 5 years, the bitter, cold silence that currently suffocates your marriage, and the former friend who deeply, unfairly betrayed you. You are carrying this massive, burning anger around like a heavy shield, completely convinced that your total unforgiveness is somehow protecting you from getting hurt again. You are absolutely wrong. Your stubborn refusal to forgive is a dark, heavy prison, and you are the only one locked inside it. I am actively calling you to do the hard, painful work of restoring your deeply broken relationships. Before you ever confront that person, before you send that angry, defensive text message, I command you to completely bring your rage and conflict directly to me. Talk to me intensely about how badly they hurt you. Pour out your totally justified anger at my feet. Then, ask me for the soft, miraculous heart of a true peacemaker. You cannot possibly fix this deep division using your own easily offended, defensive human emotions. I am asking you to violently forgive them, 70 times 7 times, exactly as I have continually and totally forgiven you for your massive failures. You want me to give you absolute grace, but you desperately want to hand them strict, punishing justice. We cannot operate that way. You must actively choose to completely release them from the heavy debt they owe you, even if they never, ever apologize. I want to completely change your spiritual vision today. Stop looking at them as your vicious enemy. Ask me to give you my eyes, so you can clearly see them exactly as I see them, as a deeply broken, completely lost sheep who is in desperate need of a loving shepherd. Their toxic behavior is merely a loud, desperate symptom of their own massive, unhealed pain. I am commanding you to actively pray for the absolute grace to fully love the totally unlovable people in your life. Stop trying to force them to change. Simply invite me directly into the messy, broken center of your conflict. Let me be the strong, unbreakable third cord in your fragile relationships. When you finally stop fighting them and start fiercely praying for them, you will watch me perform absolute miracles of deep reconciliation that will completely shock your human mind. You look at your ordinary, daily routine and you think your life is completely insignificant. You wake up, you go to work, you pay your bills, and you wonder if you are actually making any real difference in this vast world. You look at the famous speakers, the massive leaders, and the wealthy influencers, and you quietly believe the dark lie that I only use special, perfect people to do my work. I command you to completely shatter that toxic illusion today. I did not call you to be famous, I called you to be entirely faithful. We need to talk intensely about the massive, urgent mission I have placed directly in front of you. You do not need a giant stage or a massive platform to change the world. Your daily mission field is your own living room, your crowded office, your local grocery store, and your quiet neighborhood. I am asking you to seek a fierce, unshakable boldness to share your personal testimony with the broken world around you. You are terrified of what people might think if you speak my name. You are scared of looking foolish or being completely rejected. But I command you to open your mouth anyway. The people you interact with every single day are silently drowning in heavy depression, massive anxiety, and absolute despair. They desperately need the exact life-saving truth that you are quietly hiding inside your heart. Ask me right now for ears to hear the unspoken cries for help behind their forced smiles. Ask me for sharp eyes to see the massive spiritual needs of the deeply lonely coworker sitting right next to you. You are completely, entirely equipped for this task because you do not do it alone. You must deeply realize today that you are my actual hands and feet on this physical earth. I do not usually drop massive miracles out of the sky. I intentionally use ordinary, flawed people just like you to deliver my grace. When you buy coffee for a stranger, when you sit quietly with a weeping friend, when you patiently listen to someone who feels entirely invisible, you are actively sowing powerful, eternal seeds of kindness. We are working in a divine, beautiful partnership. Stop waiting for someone else to step up and fix the brokenness around you. I placed you in your specific family and your specific job for a very specific reason. Do not hold back your love. Step confidently into the massive harvest field today. Experience the absolute, overwhelming joy of bringing my other lost children back home to my house. Speak life, share your story, and watch me completely transform your ordinary days into an extraordinary, eternal mission. You are holding on to this temporary, fading world far too tightly. I watch you completely exhaust yourself trying to build a permanent, secure kingdom down here on earth. You stress over your retirement accounts, you endlessly upgrade your house, and you fiercely protect your temporary reputation. But my precious child, you are merely a passing traveler living in a temporary hotel. This broken, chaotic world is absolutely not your permanent home. I command you to start actively living with a massive, eternal perspective right now. When you completely focus on the temporary things you can physically see, you will always be deeply disappointed and terribly anxious. Everything around you is rusting, fading, and breaking down. But the glorious, eternal kingdom I am preparing for you will completely stand forever. We need to discuss the breathtaking, absolute hope of the glory that is yet to be revealed. You cry bitter tears because you feel the deep, heavy pain of disease, loss, and terrible injustice in this world. But I promise you, a magnificent day is coming when I will personally wipe every single agonizing tear from your tired eyes. I am calling you to stay completely awake and spiritually ready through our constant, unbroken conversation. Do not let the loud, numbing distractions of your culture put your soul to sleep. Stay alert. Keep your spiritual bags packed. Find deep, unshakable comfort in the historic, guaranteed fact that I am coming back specifically for you. I did not leave you here to suffer endlessly in the dark. I am actively preparing a place for you, and when the perfect moment arrives, the sky will violently split open, and I will call your name. Stop staring down at the dirty ground. Lift your heavy head and focus entirely on the beautiful things above, where I am currently seated in absolute majesty. The pain you are walking through today is completely temporary, but the immense joy waiting for you is totally eternal. Your current struggles are producing a heavy, massive weight of glory that you cannot possibly imagine. Let this absolute truth anchor your shaking soul today. You are moving rapidly toward the ultimate, beautiful reunion. One day very soon, all the heavy pain, all the silent confusion, and all the dark fear will entirely vanish. We will no longer communicate through the quiet whispers of prayer. You will look directly into my eyes, and we shall finally talk face to face. Hold tightly to this beautiful promise, and do not ever give up hope. You are constantly running on a heavy, exhausting treadmill of human performance. From the time you were a small child, The world taught you a very cruel, toxic lie. You must carefully earn your love. You believe you have to be smart enough, pretty enough, wealthy enough, or quiet enough to be accepted. You are completely exhausted from constantly trying to prove your worth to people who do not truly see you. Stop running right now. Step entirely off that terrible treadmill. I command you to realize, deep within your shaking bones, that there is absolutely nothing you can ever do to make me love you more than I already do right in this exact second. You cannot earn my affection by being perfect. And hear this clearly. There is absolutely nothing you can ever do to make me love you less. I want you to stop striving and simply soak in the massive depth, the endless width, and the towering height of my pure affection for you. My love is not a fragile, temporary human emotion that changes when you make a terrible mistake. My love is a fierce, unbreakable, eternal covenant. Long before I formed the massive mountains, long before I placed the burning stars in the dark sky, I looked forward through time and I completely chose you. I wanted you. I intricately designed your personality, your exact laugh, and your unique way of seeing the world. You are not a random biological accident. You are the deliberate, beautiful masterpiece of an Almighty Father who is completely obsessed with you. If you ever begin to doubt the fierce reality of my love, do not look at your current bank account, your failing health, or your messy relationships. Look directly at the heavy, wooden cross. The brutal sacrifice of my only son is the ultimate, undeniable proof of my desperate desire to be with you. I willingly paid the absolute highest price in the entire universe simply to rescue your heart. I bought you back from the dark chains of death. Rest completely in the profound security of this everlasting covenant. Stop trying to hide your ugly flaws from me. Stop punishing yourself for the mistakes I have already completely forgiven. Let my perfect, unconditional love violently cast out every single trace of self-hatred from your mind. You are fully known, you are totally forgiven, and you are unconditionally loved. My beloved child, we have talked about your deepest fears, your hidden shame, your massive exhaustion, and your beautiful future. But as we come to the close of this specific moment, I want to give you a summary of exactly why you must absolutely never stop talking to me. This divine conversation is not a luxury you squeeze into your weekend. It is the vital oxygen your soul requires to survive the heavy atmosphere of this world. When you stop talking to me, you immediately begin to spiritually suffocate. You become deeply cynical, incredibly anxious, and entirely lost in the dark. I am handing you an open, permanent invitation to keep the line completely open throughout every single moment of your chaotic day. Do not hang up the phone when you walk out your front door. Take me with you into every meeting, every argument, and every quiet moment. I want to permanently remind you that I am never, ever tired of hearing your voice. The world might tell you that you are entirely too needy, too loud, or too broken. The people around you might eventually run out of patience for your tears. But I will never turn you away. I never sleep, I never slumber, and I never check my watch when you are pouring out your broken heart. You are my favorite priority. I make you a massive, unbreakable promise today, a promise sealed entirely in the blood of my Son. I will absolutely never leave you, and I will never, ever forsake you. Even when you cannot physically feel my presence, even when the night is completely pitch black and you are absolutely terrified, I am standing fiercely right by your side. I leave you with my final, beautiful blessing today. Let my deep, unexplainable peace settle entirely over your tired mind, your racing heart, and your exhausted body. Peace be with you, my precious, beloved child. Do not carry the heavy burdens of yesterday into the bright promise of today. You are completely forgiven. You are entirely protected. You are deeply, unconditionally loved. Whenever the world gets entirely too loud, whenever the heavy pain returns, or whenever you simply want to share a moment of quiet joy, you know exactly where to find me. I'm always waiting. I am always listening. I give you this one simple, beautiful, daily command. Come, let us talk. As we seal this sacred conversation and I place my final, heavy blessing of peace upon your shoulders, I ask you to look at the massive, global harvest field right in front of you. I am inviting you to violently throw wood onto this holy fire, ensuring that this desperate, divine conversation continues to completely rescue lost souls around the earth. Go therefore and make disciples, using your generous resources to aggressively push this living word into the feeds of those contemplating giving up tonight. When you fiercely support this prophetic work, I promise to place an unbreakable, eternal shield of massive favor entirely around your family, your health, and your finances. Do not simply walk away from this holy altar empty-handed when I am calling you to build my kingdom. Seal your absolute commitment to this mission right now by giving a super thanks, becoming a steadfast member, or donating through the PayPal link in the description below. Amen.